Right, welcome to What Had Happened Was. Today's story is called Catfish and Bare Feet. Now, I've always felt as a young man, and even today, I fish barefooted. I feel I get a better feel no matter what boat I'm in, what type of fish I'm fishing for. But I've learned some hard lessons along the way about fishing barefooted and different types of boats and hooks. This was my first learning lesson, and it's pretty easy to figure out from the title, Catfish and Bare Feet, what may have happened. But we were out in the old Washita, out in the bay fishing on a nice Saturday or Sunday afternoon. Doesn't recall what day. Doesn't really matter because the lesson in all of this is we're out and we're catching a lot of hardheads. And if you've ever caught hardheads, some of them are this long and some are this long. The thing they all have in common is they're very slimy and they have three very pointed, very painful fins, two on each side, one on the top. So you get a hold of those things and eventually you figure a way out that you don't have to grab a hold of them or try to mess with them, because those small ones have little sharp edges on them. They all have sharp edges, but the smaller ones, for whatever reason, seem to be a little bit sharper than the others. So catching those. So I come up and I'm a young man. I'm still between 8 and 10 years old, and I would catch them and get them by the edge of the boat, and I would kind of loop them, just kind of loop them back, slap them on the water, stun them, so they weren't doing all that wiggling and hopping around and all while you're trying to get them off the hook. And you got to keep in mind, we're still using these small number 10 treble hooks. So you got a small wiggly fish with a small hook, trying not to get caught, so you stun them while slapping them on the water. Well, my dad had told me, he said, boy, you need to quit doing that. One of them's going to come off and poke you. Quit doing that. Quit doing that. Well, about the fourth, fifth time, I went to go make a big loop cast and swung it up. Well, about right here, and I come down, there's no fish on it. And it, like slow motion, looked like it was 30, 40 foot in the air. Probably wasn't 3 or 4 foot in the air. But as it come down directly in top of my foot with his side fin into the top of my foot, I honestly just, there's no way to explain the feeling of that stabbing into your foot, but the blood and the throbbing coming out. The fish, hey, he didn't like it either. He's wiggling around, carrying on. So I reached down to grab him, and just, it's out of reaction, you reach down and you just grab something. Well, when you did that, it stabbed me in the hand. So now I'm attached to the fish, top with my hand, the bottom is in my foot, and I just snatch it back, kind of fling my hand. I did. Of course, it came out because blood going everywhere. I'm not real happy at this point. My old man is in the back here behind me, sipping on his cold beer, laughing his ass off because he thinks this is the greatest thing since a shirt pocket, because he had just told me 3 or 4 times to stop doing that. Now, as he's still laughing and I'm just kind of stunned, he looks at my foot and he goes, oh, so he reaches down with a pair of pliers. Well, I didn't realize the side fin that had stuck in my foot was still there. It had actually broke off. He just reaches down with a pair of pliers, snatches it out, and then now he's really laughing. He pours some beer on it. So the thing to remember about jellyfish and hardheads, if you get stuck or stung, we always carry meat tenderizer with us. Reaches in the tackle box, puts some meat tenderizer on it, rubs it in, takes the stinging out, laughs at me a little bit longer, and asks me if I'd learned anything. So the bottom line is, don't smash your hard heads way up into a loop so that they can come off and hit you in the top of the foot. Lesson learned. Trust me, you don't want to have to go through that. I still have the fin somewhere around in my shop in a little small box that's about that long. And if you ever seen one, it looks like several little fish hooks put together. You'd understand why it hurts so bad to pull one back out. But that is what has happened was, and y'all keep tuning in, and maybe you'll learn a little something, get a good laugh out of it. We can laugh at it now, but it hurt like hell.